I would use a two-touch method, which is basically to get in contact with the higher net worth individual, with the owner of the bigger company. I would use somebody that I have as a first connection, who is connected to that person as an intermediary way, as a stepping stone. I'll show you what this looks like, because I know that sounds kind of random. But for example, if I go into Sales Navigator, here, saved searches. Let me see here. So just imagine like this is your niche, it's the same sort of principle. So say if I wanted to, holy custard, okay, let's use a scale. I want to reach out to Esther, but we're not a direct connection. And say she's got like a super successful business. I really know I could help her out, but I don't want to directly message her or try to connect with her because she might not respond to me because she's so successful and so busy. I would look down here and go through James Brown. So Sales Navigator literally gives me a person that I'm connected with, and I would go for him and literally click ask for intro. I would go to James Brown, it gives me recommendations of what I can start a conversation on. So for example, his company, Brewdog, was mentioned in the news. So I can find that article and be like, I actually saw that you were mentioned in the news, like this is blah, blah, blah. I put together a free audit on like what you could do to leverage this in your business right now. In exchange for this audit, I'd actually really love an introduction to Esther. Would that be something that you're willing to discuss? Like, don't ask them for a direct introduction, but be like, hey, use it as a gatekeeper, like with a cold call, like you want to be friends with that person. What can you give to that person that would make them want to give you that introduction that you want? So that could work well in terms of if the CEO isn't present on LinkedIn, you can't get a direct introduction on here, but if you've got somebody that's in between, or say a director, be like, I'm actually trying to get in touch with the decision maker, would that be yourself, or would it be somebody else because I couldn't find the owner on LinkedIn, or whatever?
I didn't get that right.
So if you're saying that the owners sometimes aren't on LinkedIn, but they have like the marketing departments, etc., and reach out to the best decision maker that you can, and reach out to them and provide them with value and be like, I'd actually really love to get in contact with XYZ person. I thought this would provide you guys with value and also maybe show what I could provide to you. And then you give it to them.
To like an audit?
Like yeah, anything like
blog articles?
Yeah, like I use blog articles as well. So I basically there's so many different approaches that you can use to get connection requests and connect with people. A really good thing that I do is every time, like I create my first article a few weeks ago, and when I posted it, I actually went onto Sales Navigator and I set all the filters so it would only give me people that would relate to what my article was about. So it gave me really specific, it was like a short list of people. But I was like, my article was like just for a certain type of person, it was addressing this issue. I go on Sales Nav and find a group of people that would apply to that, and I send it to them. And I literally copy and paste a message, just change their name. It'd be like, I won't be able to find it now, but it was like, hey, I actually just recently wrote this article. It's my first one that I put on LinkedIn. I'd appreciate any feedback, like I welcome constructive criticism. I thought this would help you out from your current situation with your business. Let me know what you think. And then I send it to them, and then they normally reply like, I got someone asked me to be a blog writer on his for his website, and I was like, no, but now I've kind of got a meeting with him because like something I'm not a writer, like I don't really know what I'm doing, but because he responded and he was impressed with what I wrote and it helped him in a way, I can then use that as a way in, and it's not salesy because I've already asserted myself as an authority within the space that I'm talking about. So like having a content strategy in place is super important as well.
Would you ever refurbish other people's articles and other people's work? Be like, hey, these are like the 3 top articles on like how to help like your
of course niche, and, like, as long as they're not competitors. Like I wouldn't promote somebody else at the same thing as me, but to be honest, there isn't really much competition within my space. There is on Upwork, like people that are LinkedIn experts, they revisit profiles, stuff like that, but not many people do lead generation. So I can normally look at people and be like, these are my articles on lead generation, but also look at this article. Like I've just written one on brand awareness, I think here. I've just done a brand awareness one, so as soon as I post this, I'm gonna use this as a way to promote having a content strategy, which I do in conjunction with my lead generation. So that's when I do both together, that's like my higher ticket, like 2.5K a month. But I've already laid down in my other article why lead generation is important, B2B lead generation on LinkedIn. This one is, should you be using LinkedIn to build your brand? So both of these articles are literally like the 2 services that I offer. And people, I'm not selling it in this. People are just reading about why it's so important. And then I can go in and be like, hey, this is an article on this, or this is an article on this. I actually do both of them. Ooh, like would you see that?
That is your content output, right? So you're doing 2 articles a week.
I do 1 article a week, and then I'd recommend doing 3 to 4 small updates on your profile. So it doesn't have to be anything like huge value. Like I normally I do a long value post in Facebook and in all the groups, and I share it in my LinkedIn groups as well. And I systemize all my content at the start of the week. Like I just started doing that. So I'll write out like everything on, say, a Sunday today. I'll write an article, I'll write all my short updates, I'll do my long value posts, and I've got a list of like my groups on LinkedIn and Facebook that I post in. So then every day I can post it in each place that's kind of relevant to the people that I'm reaching out to.
Do you like also privately, if you like have a new blog article, send it to each person?
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned in terms of when I build the lead list.
Oh, okay.
And it gives me the specific people. Yeah, so I send the article privately to those people within the list that I got from Sales Navigator. And then it basically means that I know it's relevant to them, so it doesn't look spammy. Because on LinkedIn, it was even since I did the module on Iman's course, and I gave everybody like my templates, and everybody used the same thing that I use. Like you've meant to use different scripts, otherwise it's obvious. Like change it for yourself. Otherwise it's annoying, and like people did the same scripts that I did. I was targeting the same people they were as me. So like all these people are gonna know it's spam because they're gonna get like 6 young entrepreneurs like sending them the same templates. It's not gonna work, and then people put their guard up. So literally like people are so adverse to spam, like you'll get rude comments if it's like obvious. So that's why I stopped doing long messages, because my response rate wasn't that high. With the short ones, like it literally says who I am, it asks the CTA. What?
That's why you need to get a private coaching. Only 3 to 4 people know.
Literally.
So that's what I got with Influencer Ignite 1.0. Like.
That's why I just said that example, because it's the same thing like when I spoke to you and you told me like what you did in 0.2.
Oh, yeah,
in 2.0
yeah,
with the branches and stuff, yeah.
No, that and also with the ads.
Like the copy.
The 3 different ads.
Because they're not about
ads.
You, like they're completely irrelevant.
The story ads, because like people just like watch from 1.0 and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna use the exact same format. I'm gonna do a graphic and then I'm gonna say I did this. I went from this to this. Swipe up to find out how. And it's just like.
And like it's bad for both parties.
Yeah. So like the point is, you're not gonna get results. No one else is gonna get results. So you need to make sure that these templates, first of all, suit your style, because like Natasha's more polite and kind of like this. I'm just more like outspoken, and like if say for example if someone used Natasha's templates, but then in the meeting they went in, like the call they went in and they were like, they spoke like me and they were very straight to the point and blah blah. The person might be like, oh, that's a bit like weird, like, incongruent.
Like find yourself. I was just going to show you like mine now. It's not rude, but it is straightforward. I think he interrupt. Oh well, actually this is an example of like a good one. So I basically reached out. That's my connection request. So it's all automated, but it scrapes, my automation software can scrape first name, last name, the title that they have, the industry that they're in, and what seniority level they have. So like it can literally, it looks personalized if I want it to. I can put in as much automation as I want in terms of pulling the script. But so for example, my outreach, my connection request is hi, and then it scrapes their first name. I came across your profile and I'd love to connect. Curious to if you use LinkedIn at all to find new clients or B2B leads. That's passion of mine, hence the question. Thanks, and I look forward to connecting with you. So like even if they're not, like they normally kind of connect with me anyway and say, oh no, I'm not interested, but like it's great to connect with you as well. Like it doesn't put them off.
They, like respond, like,
yeah.
Like even when they say no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I've gotten like long paragraphs from people from automated messages, like describing no, but they've done it in such a professional manner.
Yeah.
Too.
Like it doesn't even, if people don't respond, I have drip sequences and they're all polite, but they all ask for a CTA at the end. Like I'm not being rude. Like I had like a really weird response from a doctor. It was a lady. And she was like, did you remember?
Yeah.
It was really like odd. Like, let me find it.
You should get a new passion.
She was like, you should go out, you're in London, like go to a gallery. And I was like, just because I enjoy like my business, like I don't mean it's like my only thing that I like live and die for. Like I have other shit going on. Let
From
me.
a doctor
Yeah, like a
who
doctor.
literally went to school for 8 years.
Yeah, like
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't know where she is gonna be. I've literally
So,
got.
Natasha, when do you answer all the messages you get?
I normally go through them like every few days because I get so many, but it takes a day for my next message to go out. So I'll leave 24 hours. I won't go in and respond. Yeah, because I don't want to interrupt. Like basically, if they respond to me, it cuts the automation. So my software doesn't continue sending messages if they respond.
Okay.
So for example, the guy that I was reading out to you, so he replied straight away to my connection one, and he was like, "Thanks for the connect. Did you use Duck Soup, which is an automation add-on?" He was like, "Definitely worth connecting. Seems like we're in the same business, just using different platforms. Somewhere I'm sure we can do something." And I was like, "It's great to connect. I've never tried it. What did you have in mind?" He was like, "No, I found my efforts were futile on LinkedIn, but wanted to ask you more about your service. The more I know, the more it helps me make a decision just in an outline of your service, what's included and how much. I've seen some of your videos too, very helpful." And I was like, he's already a warm lead because like he went on my profile and I have videos there. So like it kind of asserts me because it's like my face. Like it sounds stupid, but like, pardon?
Like YouTube video or what?
Yeah, so I'll just show you. So
Like case study video.
no, like 2 actual YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
So like I've got a video on how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator for lead sourcing SMMA clients. 3 free LinkedIn hacks for B2B lead generation you need to know. So like I've had a meeting from that, like a guy in real estate. It was like a big, they're like economical housing, like 0 carbon emission. He literally connected with me because he was like, "Hey, I'll show you the messages, it's just easier." Tommy. So this dude, I was like, when I used Leonard, which is another add-on, I had different connection templates for each industry. So because I had like real estate and I had like restaurants, so I was just doing everything, so I was an absolute mess. Like I'd have different ones. So he was in real estate. I didn't reply to him, and because I'd genuinely just forgotten because I wasn't using LinkedIn that much. And it actually worked really well because he said in the meeting that he doesn't speak to people, and he got annoyed because I was like the only person that he'd actually reached out to. I didn't respond, so it bruised his ego, which is why he reached out to me again. And he was like, "I watched your videos. I believe you may be able to assist our company in some capacity." I sent him my scheduling link. We had a phone call. I just found out a bit more information about his business. We had a phone call, and then I was like, "You know what? It sounds like we're a good fit. Why don't I come into the office and we'll have a face-to-face meeting?" I went in the day after, did the face-to-face, pitched him, and he tried to recruit me into his company, which I didn't want to do because he was like, "Look, I want you to do everything, but I want you to be part of my team. Like, what is IAG?" Because I was saying that I was part of Eman's company. I was like, I managed some of his clients. He was like, "What is IAG paying you? Like, I'll pay you double." And I was like, it's not about that. Like, I don't want to come into the office and work here. And that was his only issue. And like, I sent him a proposal and I was like, "Look, I'm only willing to come into the office once a month at the start to sit down with the coordinator," because they had like a big team. But that's like the most I'm willing to go. And like, he just didn't really want to. He was like, "Look, I'm only happy if you come in." And I tried to like overcome the like agency versus in-house thing, but like maybe I didn't propose a value enough to him. But like, you'll get meetings for like random stuff, and it won't be because you've got like an amazing case study. It could be because you've got a video in your profile, or your headline just happened to be something that they needed. Like, I've had someone literally just message and be like, "Hey, like, funny that you messaged me. It's actually something that I really wanted right now. I'm really glad that you messaged." And I'll just like send them my scheduling link, and it'll go through.
Just sending all the people pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, like it's literally all the same thing. It's just automated. So on my software, I will show you.
So have you like split test messaging or?
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah.
It's like Facebook ads. It's like A/B testing. Like it's the same shit. Just track your conversions. Like the one mistake that I made was when I was using a software, because you're sending out so many connection requests, you kind of lose track of who's where, like who's replied, how many have I sent out, what's my acceptance rate, what's my conversion to a meeting. And like, it's good to know those figures because you don't have like a Facebook ads manager dashboard which shows you everything when you click on it. Right. Like with this is why I switched onto this prospecting software. You can download like a report within a space of time. So on Tuesday, it'll be my first full week with it. So I'll download the report. It'll tell me how many connection requests I've made, how many people connected with me, how many people interacted, and then I can sort of have that, and I can just take it into an Excel spreadsheet or something, and then track my weeks and see. So that's what I'm going to do for clients. Like, say if we've got a certain vertical that we're targeting, I'll be like, okay, look, let's use these templates for a week, let's use these for another week, let's see which ones perform better, and then pick the winning set. Like, it's kind of like I've kind of taken principles from Facebook and tried to apply it to this, because it is the same and it helps you give more information like back to yourself in terms of your agency and the performance of your lead generation using the software. But it's just like, you should track everything because it just helps you get better and optimize your messages, stuff like that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You've stopped using Leonard, right?
Yes.
Now you're using this.
Yeah.
What's the main reason for you not using Leonard anymore, using this? Is it because of the reporting, or
This is fully automated.
fully automated?
Fully. Like, so basically, because I think there's so much that I need to tell you, it's so hard to like make everything make sense together. Basically, so LinkedIn, I'm just gonna like look from a bird's eye view of like the different components. So LinkedIn, you wanna optimize your profile, build your network with the right people, convey the right message. From that, you wanna have a content strategy in place. So you wanna be posting an article a week and then 3 to 4 short updates. With that content, sorry, yeah. Whoa. Have a content strategy in place. So you want to be, I would say try and schedule like a day of the week where you have 2 hours where you do all of your content completely ready. So I'd say write an article and then write your short updates, and then you can put the date next to it. So you could be like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 short updates.
Updates are like status?
Yeah, so it's like a status. So when you post on LinkedIn, the main feed, you can just like post, it's like Facebook, like you post a little update.
What would you say there?
Like it can be anything. Like I normally post questions, which would be centered around my article. So I would know at the start of the week when I've written my article out, I'll write that first, and then I'll think of 3 questions that are answered within the article. So basically it's like a nuance, it's like a small thing, but like I'll ask the questions in my post, and I'll put like an interesting fact or piece of value and be like, pose a question that's gonna make my target audience think. And then when I post that article at the end of the week, both on my main feed and also identify groups. Groups are super important for LinkedIn. You should have 2 sets. It should be 1 set which is people similar to you, so you can spy on what other people are doing, what's working well for them, what type of content they're putting out, use it as inspiration to do it better from your page. And then a second set of groups should be people that are potential clients that you can post your value into. So when you write that article and post those updates, put it into the groups as well, because a lot of those people within the groups you're not actually connected with. You don't have to be connected to everybody to join a group. So your reach is even further. So once you've got, your profile is optimized, you've built your network to at least 500 plus connections that are relevant to your niche, you put the content strategy in place, so you're posting all the relevant content, you're putting it in the right places. And then from that, you want to get a B2B tool. So you want to have some sort of automation. Before you use the automation, you want to know how to have Sales Navigator. So they're the 2 expenses that you're going to need for this, like Sales Navigator and then a prospecting tool.
What was the last step? Like, why would you need that?
Do you mean the prospecting tool, like the lead gen thing?
The automation thing, when you got the 500 relevant people.
Because that's for outreaching to new connections. So without that, I would only be able to generate leads from directly re-messaging all of my connections. Just to put it into perspective for you in terms of numbers, I on average know that for each 100 people that I send a connection request to, 30% should accept. And then out of that 30%, I should get at least 1 that's a potential client. So if you have 500 connections and you stop and you don't automate it or have a lead generation software, you've got 5 potential clients and that's it. And it might be that your close rate's 1 in 5. So it could be that you have 5 potential clients, but you get them all on a call and some of them aren't qualified. Or like you close 1, not the rest. So you kind of have to keep your well full. Like 500 connections is good, but like carry on growing. And like with
cap to connections?
There is, but it's something huge. Like I think they used to have no cap, and then they put one in recently, and it's like thousands. It's like hundreds of, like not hundreds of thousands, I'll tell you.
I've read it was because you have a premium, right?
Yeah.
If you have just a normal, I think.
On a normal, like you can't really add your prospecting tool or software because it'll flag you. Like LinkedIn's algorithms, yeah, like you can get your account banned. Because you can get your account banned if they flag you for suspicious activity. So for example, Leonard, any automation softwares, like LinkedIn don't want you to use them because it goes against like how they've built the software to be used, like the platform. So that's why with the software that I use, there's a cap in terms of how many connection requests I send out. So when you first start, obviously there's two options. There's Leonard, cheaper, like a lot cheaper, like 1/10 the price cheaper. You can use Leonard, you can input your templates, you can scan profiles, which will give them a notification that you've viewed their profile. You can auto-endorse them, it's pretty cool. And then you can connect with them. The only downside with Leonard compared to the software that I use now is that it's not automated. Like it automates the process, but I have to go and input that information for it to run. So I'd have to go in every morning and set off Leonard to do all the visits, do all the scans. Then I have to wait for it to finish, then I have to go back again, and then I need to set off all the connection requests. And then I have to do that again the day after. With this, what I use now, like it's 24/7. Like I can choose which days I want it to run on.
Which program is
So this is called B2B prospecting tool.
That's literally what it's called.
Yeah. It's through LinkedIn Lead Ninja's website. I'll show you them. B2B. See if it comes up. So it's this. So it's LinkedIn B2B lead generation, but it's basically like a whole other desktop. So they give you the it's like really cool. They give you the software. It looks like this, but I've imported lead lists. Hey. We'll wait for that to reconnect. But basically when you're in LinkedIn, do you guys know about Sales Navigator at all? Like, does anybody use it?
Heard about it, but
yeah. Okay, we'll go over that, because obviously we've mentioned, I'm just trying to keep it so it's like in sections.
Is this on LinkedIn?
Yes. So LinkedIn basically has different subscription levels. So you can have regular LinkedIn. It's just really hard for lead generation. Like you can only search by like a title. It doesn't give you a whole other like search platform to use, sorry. So on Sales Navigator is so good. Okay, so basically you go on Sales Navigator, you can set it up for like business or sales account. There's like different tiers of subscription. When you have it, it's basically like a separate website to LinkedIn. It's under LinkedIn, but it takes you to a different page, which is Sales Navigator.
Like Business Manager.
Yeah, same thing. It's just like a separate part to the same company. So it basically gives you this interface, which is a bunch of different specifications that you can put in to build your perfect client, basically. So for example, restaurants. So which part of the world are you looking for restaurant owners?
yeah, let's
Africa.
Africa.
Let's take UK.
UK? We could do like London, because like basically another thing, on LinkedIn it only shows you like 1,000 results. And then to build that lead list, it's 1,000 max. So you want to get it quite niche down to 1,000 and have like sub niches within your niche. And then when you take that into the software, you can download lists like this. So I can do a task and I can drop down here, I can put import searches from Sales Navigator. And then any searches that I've built and saved on Sales Navigator, I can put it into the software. So it's basically all front loaded. So I've put in like 4,000 leads in here, and I can just leave this for months. I don't have to touch it.
It's all automated.
It's fully automated. That's why I'm saying it's so much better than Leonard, because Leonard is like you have to go in and do it, and I kind of lost track of who I'd reached out to, and it was a bit of a mess. Like with this, I've basically built these lists on LinkedIn, which I'll show you. So my searches here, I've got 4 of them. So I've got marketing, advertising agency owners, accounting owners, computer software owners, and graphic design owners. I know all of them I can target for B2B LinkedIn lead generation. So I built those 4 lists, which are around 1,000 results each. And then I've put that into the software. And then that's going to run for a few months and I don't have to touch it. So it's fully like automated my process. All my messages are in there. There's a drip sequence. Like,
Just set it and go.
like it's so cool. Like
Well, no.
yeah, it's just sick. Let me just bring this up
Could you
again.
post a link of the software tool into the WhatsApp group?
I'll give it to you guys, yeah. Let me see if this restarts.
Yeah, I can implement this for my client. Or
Yeah.
I'll implement it.
Yeah, like it's sick. Like it just works really well. So let me just show you this.
Like B2B.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. So basically this, I'll show you my messages.
Automatic.
So basically you literally like front load it and then you use these codes
Yeah.
to put in the different like words that you want it to scrape from their profile. So for this I've only used first name because the rest of it is just relevant to everybody. You've got your invitations limit, so if you're just starting out I'd recommend putting it to about like 25 to 55. You just want to lower it down so that LinkedIn doesn't pick up on what you're doing. Yeah, so after this one I would then go on to welcome message, which is hi, it scrapes their first name. I engage with scrapes their title, so it feels like I've messaged it to them. Like yourself who need a LinkedIn done for you solution, is this something that would be beneficial to you? Either way, it's great to be connected and I'd be interested to learn more about what you do. So that comes one day after the first message. And then if they haven't replied, I basically have, this is schedule settings, so you can click which days you want it to run on. So if you don't want it to run on weekends, you can just stop that. Let me see where my drips are. I think it's autoresponders over here. So on here I've set up 2 drip messages for 5-day and 7-day. So if they haven't responded to my connection message or my welcome one, they will get, why does this not work? Let me wait for this. I don't know. It's connected to the...
What exactly you say on the welcome message? Yeah. I couldn't pick it up. Like,
It'll be different for you guys completely.
yeah.
But just say hi, hi, and then insert their first name, and then say like what you do. So it'll just be different for your need. Yeah, literally say what you do, and then just be like, I'm looking forward to connect with you. Like you don't want to be salesy. You want to keep it super lighthearted on the first one, then the second one for the welcome, just be like, this is my service. Would it be something that you're interested in? And you outline that. And then for your follow-ups, I'll show you when this reconnects, which is annoying. But babe, does it ever like lose connection to your like TV? Is this like an issue? Or is it just because the software is like draining a lot of energy? Is it? Oh, okay. Basically, I'll just explain it to you guys. So in my 5-day follow-up, it will say, if I've not had anybody not 5-day follow-up, it'll basically say, hi. I'm trying to remember like how I phrase it. Yeah, like 'cause I phrased it quite well. But I basically said, hey, it was like a really soft CTA, and I was like, hi, I know I know that you must, yeah, okay, I say this. I know you must be very busy as a business owner, so I wouldn't want to waste any of your time. For that reason, I normally find it best to hop on a quick 15-minute call when would work for you. And then I don't send my scheduling link on purpose. And then 2 days later, if they haven't replied, I'll send the link and be like, whoops, I forgot to send my scheduling link. Here it is. And I'll get a lot of random people that will kind of just do it because I've like annoyed them 4 times, but in a professional way. Yeah, so I'll not give it to them on purpose. And then if they don't say anything, it'll go out again and be like, oh, here's the link. Yeah, and then yeah, like it doesn't, because otherwise it would just be irrelevant spam to them. So like it only goes out if they haven't responded. It'll be like, whoops, I'm so sorry, I forgot to message you. Because like people are going to be really busy, and a lot of the time that they could benefit from your service, but they've just forgotten to respond. So like the more you can kind of be in front of them, but in a professional manner, which is keeping it polite and being respectful and mindful of their time, then like the better. So that's why I kind of go like, whoops, I'm so sorry, I forgot to send you my link. Like here it is. And then I'll get like some random people that are like, fine, like whatever, like they'll click on it. It's really easy to book an appointment.
So that's after 2 days, right?
That's 7 days.
7 days.
So I have 1 day connection. Maybe it's because I'm wearing like fleece, like warm stuff. Is that relevant? No, I don't mean my body temperature. I mean because it's fleecy and it creates static, like the fabric. No? No? Okay. Science, guys.